Hi, my name's Rachel and welcome to Rituals Herb. Today I'm going to lead you through about 20 minutes to 25 minutes of trauma-informed Yin Yoga. Today we're going to be targeting the area of the hips. This is a great source of tension for many people, especially women. We're going to hold the positions for about 5 minutes each, and then at the end we're going to have a Savasana. All you need today are your pillows, yoga blocks and a couple of blankets and a mat to make yourself comfortable. Try and find somewhere nice and quiet to practice today. If you have any emotions, a lot of emotions that come out of this practice, that's quite normal. As I say, it's a great source of tension, and a lot of the time we can store a lot of emotion in our hips. So just know that you're in a safe place, and we'll try and focus on the breath and the present moment to get through those high emotions. So let's start our practice. Today we're going to start on our backs. So laying down, feet flat to the ground, knees up to the sky, heels about finger width apart. And we're just going to ground down onto our mat and just feel rooted and feel supported by the earth. And just tuning into our natural rhythm of our breath. Just forgetting anything that may have happened today or anything that is still to happen, and just trying to be in the present moment. Not so easy to do all of the time, but the breath can be a great anchor to bring us into the present moment. So just observing the natural inhales and exhales of your breath. Observing which parts of your body move with the inhale and move with the exhale. Maybe closing down the eyes if you feel comfortable to do so. And if not, just keep a soft gaze, maybe even take a smile to your face. We're going to start with a little gentle movement. So rolling the hips up to the sky and lifting the hips and the buttocks up to the sky, keeping the mid to the upper spine on the ground, and just release by rolling down back to the hips. Inhale, lifting the hips up to the sky. Exhale, rolling back down through that lumbar spine till the hips are flat on the ground. Inhale, lifting the hips up to the sky. Exhale, rolling down through the spine to the lumbar spine and the hips. So we're just going to work with an inhale and an exhale. That's the rhythm of your breath. And we're just inviting a little bit of gentle movement before we sit in stillness in our yin shapes. Just to awaken this area a little and start to remove any tension that may be there. So just a few more rounds of inhale and exhale at your own breath. And just starting to tune in to the sensations of your body. How does this feel when we raise the hips? Just taking some self-inquiry. And when you're ready, we're going to drop the legs down to the ground. We're going to move in a very slow, yin-like manner. Swiveling the legs to the other side. We're going to take our first shape, which is a deer shape. So sitting over onto the left buttock, right is in the air, right leg bent, left leg bent, grabbing a few pillows And placing them maybe underneath your knees, maybe this knee, maybe this knee, maybe putting a few more pillows here, or putting the pillows in front of you and leaving the legs on the ground. We're going to come into our first shape of stillness. So just dropping the forehead onto your arms or onto the pillows. And just releasing the tension in that neck by letting the head rest on something. And just arriving in this stillness. I'm going to slowly get up so I can instruct, but please stay where you are. Always tuning into the breath as an anchor point to ground you into this practice. If your thoughts are drifting away, then that's completely normal. And please just try and revert back to the breath. Following the natural ebbs and flows of the inhales and the exhales. How does your body feel as you inhale in this new position? And how does it feel, and what parts of it move as you exhale in this position? So like I said at the beginning, we're going to be holding these shapes for about 5 minutes each. And it's going to take the first few minutes just to get comfortable in being still. You've probably had a really busy day and lots going on, and so just finding stillness now may be a little bit more of a challenge than you thought it was going to be. So I just want you to drop any judgments of how you should be feeling in stillness. And I just want you to know that the present moment is the only thing that we can control. And when I remember that, that soothes me, and I think, okay, I can just be in this moment, focusing on my breath or focusing on new sensations in my body. We're over halfway through this shape. So with that in mind, about the only thing we can control is the present moment, discover in yourself at the beginning of our practice what feels good, what soothes you, what is making you feel restored. Is it focusing on your breath, or is it focusing on how your body is held within this new shape? And so Yin Yoga is all about self-discovery and connection of the mind-body. It doesn't have as much form as a regular yoga practice, so you don't have to look a certain way. You don't have to move in a certain way. It can all be tailored to your body. And we've just got a final few more minutes in this shape before we move on. So just really slowly lifting the head, pushing up onto the hands and sliding that left leg back. We'll slide our right leg out. Come in to sit on the outside of the right glute. Right and left leg are bent. Just taking a moment here before you lean the body back down onto the pillows, maybe onto your hands. I didn't say on the other side, but if you want to, if going as low as I am is too much, then please use some extra pillows for a little bit more height, or yoga blocks. If you would like a little bit more sensation, then please remove the pillows and rest your head on the ground or on your forearms. Again, I'm just going to move out of this shape so I can instruct, but please stay where you are. And as we arrive in this new shape on the other side of the body, maybe you can observe the difference from the left and the right. A lot of us have one side that's a lot more tense because that's usually our dominant side. And that might be something you notice in this practice when we're doing bilateral movements. In Yin practice, we try and keep the sensations and the tension that we apply onto the body around 30 to 40%. We don't want to take it all the way up to 100 and cause actual physical pain, and we don't want it at 0 because then we're feeling no sensation at all. And it's when we feel the sensation that's when we're releasing the tension. And when we release the tension, that's when we're releasing a lot of stored emotions within our body. And that just means that when we're releasing that tension, our body is processing those emotions. Okay, we're about halfway through the way on this shape, on this side. And just focusing back on the breath if you feel the mind is drifting. Maybe you'd like to, as you inhale, send some loving kindness to the part of your body that feels the most sensation. And as you exhale, try and release any judgment or criticism you may have on this shape or on your body or how you should be feeling right now. The sensations of your body that you're feeling right now might be new. Maybe you don't sit in this way often, so it could be a little bit hard to sink into these new sensations. It could be quite difficult, quite a challenge mentally as well as physically. And if that's the case, then giving yourself permission to say, that's okay that I feel this way. That's okay that this is mentally challenging. And over time, with regular practice, these sensations reduce and this practice becomes a lot more enjoyable. I know that from my experience when I first started practicing Yin Yoga. And that's a lot of the battle with Yin, is that it's so beneficial for us in our connective tissues and our nervous system, but at first it's quite uncomfortable because sitting so still in awkward positions, it's quite a challenge. We're just going to have just a few more breaths in this shape. So before we move out of this shape, just tuning back into that breath. And from this position, we're just going to push ourselves up with our arms onto our hands. And however feels good for you, I invite you to come down onto your stomach and rest, maybe with your head facing to the right. I'm going to sit up once again, but please stay laid down, and we're just going to take a mini savasana for 1 minute. This is a mini savasana, a rebound position. It's just so we can feel the benefits of holding those shapes for such a long time. Can you feel the aliveness of your hip area with the fresh blood and oxygen being sent to this area? This is one of my favorite parts of Yin practice, is holding these shapes for long periods of time and then having these moments in between to feel the effects of the position that I was just holding. Feeling new sensations, feeling fresh sensations in these areas. And just a few more minutes until we move on. A few more moments, should I say. And when you're ready, just however you like to get up and come into a seated position. Join me in this seated position. Taking your legs out in front of you, we'll take the outside of the right ankle onto the mat. Taking the outside of the left ankle over towards the right hip area. So this is a shoelace kind of shape. Also, if that is inaccessible or a little bit too much sensation, we could have a cross leg situation, so the left foot underneath the right knee and the right knee underneath the left foot. And maybe you'd like to pop a pillow in there. So just moving into your version of the shoelace. And like I said before, Yin Yoga is all about exploring your body, so what feels good for you. It doesn't have to look like how I am holding my body, because we've all got different bodies. So just grabbing your blocks or your books or your blankets and popping, just making a little comfy situation here. Going to inhale and roll the shoulders back. And exhale, we're going to move the forehead in the direction of our cushion or blanket and just resting the forehead down onto that space. So releasing the tension in the neck. And again, just coming to focus on the breath. Maybe you'd like to grab your blanket and wrap it around you. Wrap it around the shoulders. And just coming into stillness. Again, I'm going to get out of our shape so I can direct you. Coming into stillness on this side. And just focusing back onto the breath. Arriving in this new shape. With these new sensations, how does it feel? And where does it feel the loudest in the body right now? Maybe it's your hip area, maybe it's your lumbar spine, maybe it's the neck, on the top of the spine. And just doing a little investigating into this stillness and investigating into your body. After being in these shapes, the other two shapes, for a little while now, you may be getting more comfortable with the feeling of stillness and surrendering to the present moment. Maybe you're becoming more attuned to taking the focus back to the breath, or discovering the sensations of the body if your mind wanders. And if so, that's great. And if you're finding it difficult, then that's completely fine. So just doing a little investigation into the body as to where feels the quietest, where's the quietest sensations coming from in the body, and where feels the loudest. We've just got a few more minutes left in this, a few more breaths left in this shape before we move on. So just taking that final few moments of this shape. And wherever you are in this shoelace shape, removing your props and very slowly sliding your left leg out in front of you and then your right. We're going to move straight into the other side. So we're going to put our left ankle on the ground and take our right ankle either over to the hip area or sit cross-legged. Again, finding what feels good for you. Maybe popping pillows or blankets in between your legs. And some pillows or blocks or books onto your legs so you can rest the forehead on there. So slowly moving the forehead in the direction of the pillows. Allowing the forehead to rest and release that tension in the neck and the top of the spine. And I'm just going to come out of this shape so I can instruct. And just focusing back onto the breath. Now we've arrived in this new shape. We've arrived in this new side. Going back to the previous shape that we were in, what did you learn in that shape that can guide you through this one? How did you navigate your mind with the changing in sensations? Or how did you navigate your mind if you were constantly going back to what you needed to do and you couldn't be in the present moment? How did you navigate that? And can you take anything from that shape into this shape? Often when we find ourselves in stillness. It's the most uncomfortable part of our day. But please use this time to regulate and rejuvenate. Maybe at the start of your day or towards the end of your day, whenever it is, please try and be in this moment right now. Releasing any thoughts of to-dos or what you should have done. Anything that's not serving you. I'm about halfway through this shape now. Actually, we're over halfway through this shape now. My clock's very tiny, so that's why I'm keep looking over. And just gathering this final stillness, and before we move on, gathering these final juicy moments of this shape and the releasing of the tension in the hips before we move on to a more neutral shape, which is the Savasana, which is the end part of our session. So when you're ready, in a very slow-like manner, taking your pillows out and just moving your feet really slowly, bringing the feet forward and come into a neutral position, the Savasana. And just finding stillness once again. Feeling all of the benefits of the practice that you've just taken. Feeling the release in the hips, maybe the spine area. And again, just bringing the focus back to the present moment, back into your breath or back into your body. Maybe now we're in this neutral position. Is there any area within the body where you feel you are tensing the most? Hopefully not the hips, but maybe still. So usually sources of tension are the jaw, the neck area, the abdomen, and the hips. So just focusing on these areas and maybe having a little scan through of the body. Which other parts do you feel like you hold tension in? And I'm going to slowly move up, but I think you should stay for as long as possible in this Savasana and enjoy the benefits of our practice today. So if you can stay for longer, stay in this position. If not, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you found it beneficial. If you have any questions about anything I said or anything to do with Yin Yoga, then please drop it in the comments, and I'd love to answer that and have a chat. And if not, hopefully see you again. Thank you and have a great day.